till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Well, my Straight Talk family, it is past that time when I should have said a very pleasant night to St. Kitts and Nevis, and greetings to the entire world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and communicate with you in the Kittitian division and Caribbean diaspora all over the globe. And I know that some of you are in Africa. There are some of you in Europe. There are some of you in Asia. And there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I'm at liberty to say good morning. And I am at liberty as well to say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And we do normally have first timers, because many of you continue to share that link, and we are grateful, and we ask that we continue to do so, because we do get first timers. And let's not forget, we are also reaching and communicating to many of you on the South American mainland, in Venezuela, and of course in lovely, lovely Guyana. How is Sabrina tonight? And to all the folks there in Guyana, hope you have now got over the issues as it relates to the unfortunate sinking of that vessel, and we trust that families are getting their answers. But my Straight Talk family, for the first timers, we wish to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression of all issues of national, regional, and international consciousness. We also discuss all issues of national and regional and international discourse, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues, social as well. We provide you this forum to express yourselves freely, and we promote and try to raise the level of discourse and, of course, our consciousness. And we alert our people of their rights and certainly their responsibilities, and what about your obligations, because we do all have obligations. And my name is Ian Patches Libert, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And for the first timers, just to inform you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We never try to make it more interesting by exaggeration or introducing sensationalism. We're not about creating excitement, especially if that comes at the expense of accuracy, because we lean on the facts. We promote what I call the unvarnished truth, and that's my duty, to present the plain truth each time. So my Straight Dog family, welcome again. And just to inform and remind others as well that Straight Talk is a participative program. And by that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails, and if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. There's some of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. You don't want to be heard, and that's fine. We provide you access via our email platform, and that address is also on your screens. But let me hasten to say a special welcome to my Straight Talk Junior Brigade, young Dwayne, Tristan, Jasmine, Shama, Kevin, Rue, Jamal, Travis, Travon, Neema, my grandson, and Saria. Don't forget Elizabeth as well, and Jonelle, a new kid on the block. And we always remember our special lady in St. Louis, my Straight Talk family. We always present our observations in review, and I want to give you some more time because some people are expressing the view that for some reason they can't get in when I try to call our numbers. I don't know why. We don't block calls, I can assure you. But so I will, for tonight, let's see how it goes, and I'll introduce one observation. And a very important one as well, because I listened to the financial secretary a few nights ago, and it seemed like his role from, or like his role has changed, I should say, from chief financial advisor to the government, to the chief propagandist for the government. The financial secretary informed the nation that he gave up on the citizenship by investment revenue for the IMF, International Monetary Fund. While people are hurting, and according to a friend of mine who listened to him, he surmised that it's like a man living in a wooden house, you know what we call a boat house, and barely surviving, and cannot afford to buy property insurance. But he wants to improve on his property. He wants to get a wall house, a concrete house, as some would say. So what he did is burnt down his wooden tenement. But he had no insurance. So having burnt down his wooden tenement, he had nothing left but the land. And the financial secretary reminds me of this man when he said this to the country.
Well, I want to be real. Given the geopolitical situation, given what's being said about CBI across the entire region, as you would have heard most recently, the EU is saying to the governments of the Eastern Caribbean that by 2028 they should be out of the citizenship by investment program. Now, when I go back and I look at several of our budgets over the years, our budget was heavily anchored on CBI. Having taken office as FS, acting FS up to the last budget, and was the lead on preparing the 2026 budget. The previous year budget in particular, about 49% of the budget, the revenue side of the budget, was based on CBI. And I would have said to the Honorable Cabinet, look, we cannot be anchoring the budget on something we have no direct control over. And so for the 2026 budget, we moved from 49% down to 28%. And so while we are behind in terms of CBI revenue performance to date, the economy continues to float and operate well, all because we have not anchored government ability to operate solely on CBI.
So the financial secretary is telling the country that he advised the cabinet to voluntarily, and these are my words, reduce CBI revenue from 49% to 28%. But when you reflect, this would have been done after increasing their own salary of the government ministers, by some 33%. This would have been done after reducing PAP, the Poverty Alleviation Program. Not reducing, but eliminating, getting rid of the PAP, the $500 savior for so many children, so many people, beg your pardon, social assistance. They put an end to the PAP, the Poverty Alleviation Program. They paid no CBI dividends, no more. They paid it once, to be exact. But they still travel by chartered aircraft or on private jets and first class on commercial jets, And they also continue drawing their hefty per diem allowance each time they travel. So the question to ask the financial secretary, my friend Pogson, how does he account for the revenue loss of over $300 million? And he said the economy is still doing well. Imagine that. Did Financial Secretary Pogson, in fact, read the IMF Article 4 report? And this report came out in May 2028, on May the 8th to be exact. But if the Financial Secretary read that report, I believe he would have said some things differently. Because, my Straight Dog family, the report which I have put on your screens is pellucid, as my good friend would say. The report is very clear. Very clear, my Straight Dog family. And if you just read the first paragraph, perhaps we can read it together. And it reads, and I quote, "With citizenship by investment CBI revenue declining further, the overall fiscal deficit widened to 11.7% of GDP in 2025. Public debt," it continues, "edged up closer to the 60% of the GDP regional benchmark, and government deposits declined further. Persistently low CBI revenues are expected to keep deficits elevated in 2026 and over the medium term, while public debt is projected to continue rising. Debt sustainability is maintained, yes, but contingent liabilities from public banks and the Social Security Fund pose significant risk." I wonder if the Financial Secretary read that section of the Article 4 report, my Straight Talk family. But according to the Financial Secretary, or rather according to the former Deputy Prime Minister, Sean Richards, who is in fact an accountant, trained accountant, debt is the signature of the Labour Party, Sean said.
That this is the signature of a Labour administration. Debt, deficits. It seems as though this is what a Labour administration does best. Wrap up debt, increase the deficits. And so, Madam Speaker, I said to you, we had COVID, we had no war, and we had no recession. We had no natural disaster. And I recall that under the former Prime Minister, the member for number 6, when he used to be questioned about the large debt, he used to say, well, we had hurricane, and we had to respond to the hurricanes. And he mentioned several different hurricanes that we have had. But we have not had any. COVID was in 2019.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. But so, if you've listened to the former Deputy Prime Minister, Sean Richards, we will all conclude that the Financial Secretary, and by extension the Cabinet of his Finance Minister and Prime Minister, Terence Michael Drew, are making up, they're fabricating, they're making up their facts, my Straight Talk family. And that's where we're going to end this for tonight in terms of our observation in review. And I will hasten to move to my thesis tonight, which I have titled, Where You Find a Liar, You Find a Thief. And my Straight Talk family, every single one of us is shaped, I believe, by the foundation upon which we were raised. For me, that foundation was my grandmother. My grandmother was a woman of unshakable faith, a woman whose life was anchored in simple, eternal scripture. Only the truth can set you free. My grandmother knew what it meant to struggle, and she knew what it meant to work. Eunice Taylor Proctor Liebert didn't wait for handouts to make ends meet. She woke up before the sun rose. She made and sold black pudding. She rolled her own chocolate for sale from the cocoa beans. She baked her own homemade bread. She poured her sweat into the soil of this country to build a life of honest, dignified labor. And like so many of her generation, my grandmother was a fierce, unapologetic supporter of the labor movement. To her, Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw was not just a politician. Bradshaw was like her king. I remember my grandmother, Mama as I call her, looking at me when I was young, her eyes filled with pride, declaring with absolute certainty, Papa Bradshaw, give me shoes. Now, as a young, assertive youth, I challenged her because I took her literally. So I asked, Mama, how could Bradshaw give you shoes? You bought those shoes with your own money. But as I grew older, my eyes opened. I grew to understand exactly what Mama meant. Papa Bradshaw didn't hand her a physical pair of shoes. What Papa Bradshaw gave her, and what he gave an entire generation of Kittitians and Nevisians, was dignity. He gave her the right to walk uprightly in her own country. To her, the name Bradshaw meant learning to be ambitious. It meant living a disciplined life. It meant working hard for what you needed, and above all, never interfering with the belongings of others. My grandmother had zero tolerance for deceit. She hated a liar with passion, and she left me with a burning phrase that has remained stamped upon my soul until this very day. She used to say, where you find a liar, you find a thief. And former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Patrick Manning, put it differently. Manning said this, my Straight Talk family.
It raises a question, ladies and gentlemen. If they cannot speak the truth in small things, imagine what they will do in big things. My mother used to say, show me a liar and I'll show you a thief.
And that's how Patrick Manning put it. His grandmother too said, show me a liar and she'll show him a thief. But that teaching, my straight dog family, is still my compass today. And that is why it absolutely irks me. It burns my spirit when I look at the state of our federation today. It sickens me to hear our current political leaders promoting the legacy of Bradshaw out of one corner of their mouth, while spewing bold-faced lies out of the other. They wear the color red. They sing the songs. But they have completely abandoned the discipline, the honesty, and the integrity of the man they claim to follow. They even convince voters to select the best thief as well. Because according to Kendra, she wants a thief who shares my straight dog family.
For the thief that share away, no? I don't know what ministers running up in there for right now, because let me tell you, by the time this labor done with the government and the money pot, nothing will be in there. They're empty. The pot will be empty. What are you going to fill it with? You're going out, go really more investors, go tell lies, and all kind of thing to accumulate the money and run well with the money in all kind of offshore account and all kind of thing to come give us excuse again. It's one bad experience we having after the other. So the best thing I say, let me bring back the thief for the sharing. Thief is thief, but let me bring back the one with the sharing, because all you ain't sharing nothing.
When I sit, my straight dog family, and listen to the Prime Minister Terence Michael Drew, the Attorney General, the so-called engineer Conris, and in particular Samal Duggins, spewing stream after stream of untruths to the public. I don't just hear empty political rhetoric. I hear my grandmother's voice echoing in my ear. Where you find a liar, you find a thief. And the indictment comes out of the economic policy they advance, the deception. Just look at the economic policies they preach versus the reality we live. They stood before us and bragged about transforming the country into a sustainable island state. They told us they were managing the transition away from CBI dependence seamlessly. But look at the ground reality, my straight dog family. While they spin statistics in Parliament, our local businesses that should be suffocating. They hit the private sector with a 2% withholding tax, draining the cash flow of small local entrepreneurs who are already struggling to keep their doors open. At the very same time, they are giving massive, sweeping tax concessions and duty waivers to a select few foreign entities and political insiders. Where is the Bradshaw philosophy in that? Bradshaw fought for the local worker, not for the backroom deals that serve the treasury. They tell you the economy is booming. But if you look at the social security data, real wage growth is stagnant, while the cost of basic goods at the supermarket skyrocketed out of reach for the average family. Just yesterday, again I went to the supermarket, my straight dog family. And guess what? Poor man food has gone up again. Imagine 2 pieces of mackerel. 2 pieces of mackerel, just over a pound, for $52, my straight dog family. Mackerel we used to eat with our breadfruit. And in our bread, my straight dog family, the ordinary poor man can't afford to buy that. Look at it for yourselves, my straight dog family. Meanwhile, what they are doing is cooking the books. And they are lying about the financial health of the country. And it gets worse when you walk into our communities and see the raw neglect. And it started from the very first month Terence Michael Drew took office, promising an end to your hardships. They promised you shelter, and they promised you progress. The slow student Jeffrey Hanley stood before this nation and boldly boasted about 2,400 houses to be constructed by East Coast Housing Development, my students of the family. Remember this?
Good day, citizens and residents. I am taking the opportunity to address the nation on the government of St. Kitts and Nevis' progress in providing affordable home owners solutions. As a government, we believe that it is critically important for our citizens and residents to become home owners, and as such, has made it a top priority to create affordable housing solutions that will meet the ever-growing housing demand. Today, as the minister responsible for housing and human settlement, I am pleased to formally announce that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and National Housing Corporation NHC has signed a contract with East Coast Housing Development, a Trinidadian-based developer, to finance and deliver 2,400 affordable smart homes over a period of 4 years, 600 of which will be made available each year. EC's $600 million has been sourced by this developer to fund the project, and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, through NHC, will facilitate the development and be the point of access for the citizens who are interested in procuring a smart home.
But where are they, my straight family? Where are these smart homes? As our young people are still crammed in their parents' back rooms, paying exorbitant rents, waiting for keys to homes that only exists in government press releases. It is a fantasy built on paper to win votes while the housing crisis worsens by the day. Look at our basic infrastructure. The so-called engineer Connery stood up and lied to you about the water crisis. Yes, there's a crisis, but he did not inherit no crisis. He told us that millions were being injected into the water grid, that desalination and new wells would solve our problems. But ask the people of Kean. This still happens, I am told, my straight dog family.
Yeah, Ratmago is a go down valley up again. Water. Kean still has a water problem. Because Ratmago presently now ain't in the water for over 2 years. Presently now ain't in the water for over 2 years. I fed up by complaining. Nobody is shutting me. I have to damn nightly taking water in a bottle. But
what part of Kean is this? What part of Kean is this?
Up top Kean, Tank Valley up Kean.
So now you're saying that you don't have any water regularly?
For 2 years now, big life, for 2 years now. But the bill them still come in.
Another part of the bill them. I know they mess up with that. But I mean, but why you don't have water up here?
Brother, not only me, everybody that is...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, why? I thought the water, since the water there, that you all would get water, no?
But I'm telling you how it's on.
That's a serious problem. That's a serious problem.
Serious problem.
And you ain't getting no water.
And you ain't getting no water.
Water. It's a serious problem.
And this problem still exists, we are told. And ask the people of St. Peter's, of Sadlers and Newton Ground. They are still living with dry taps for days on end. They are still waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning just to catch a bucket of water to bathe their children for school or to go to work. Look a mother in the eye and promise her water, knowing the infrastructure is failing, is a betrayal of the highest order by the so-called engineer, Congress Maynard. When I left the government in 2020, this is what the acting manager and water engineer, Dennis Paul, reported, my straight dog family. This is what he reported. Water production, my straight dog family. Let's get that right. Water production, my straight dog family. And you can glean from your screen that we derive our water supply from two main sources: surface supplies, springs and streams, 6 main surface sources, groundwater wells, and 25 active wells in St. Kitts, and the sea is another source. But my straight dog family, he also reported that the average production was 5.5 million gallons. Production in 2020 was 4.2 million gallons. And the present average demand was 5 million gallons. And as you can glean from the monitor, your screens there, the sources of this water. But my straight dog family, ask yourselves, so what went wrong between 2020 and 2022 if Congress is claiming that only 25% of the country had water? Was Dennis Paul telling a lie? Did he misreport what was out there? So what went wrong, Soka engineer? And look at how they treat our heritage and safety. They abandoned the original construction of the Basti High School, wasting millions of tax dollars that was spent on the EIA, the Environmental Impact Assessment, the designs and other tests. Wasting millions of tax dollars while our children are packed still in temporary spaces. And now they've gone on a propaganda tour. And some trailers of precast slabs have been landed. They're all outsourced from Barbados. The construction contract for this major public project, beg your pardon, to a foreign company using precast slabs, completely bypassing our local Kittitian and division contractors, our plumbers, our carpenters, my straight dog family. And I don't think that till this day, Terence Michael Drew understands what he has done.
Our government made a big mistake when it takes a $200 million project plus Basti High School, and a good portion of that money is going to be spent in another island when we could have been generating jobs, economic activity, skills for our young people here. Right? It's gone elsewhere.
And I don't think Terence Michael Drew understands what he has done in this case. He has stolen the bread out of the mouths of our local tradesmen. And I don't need to even spend time on mentioning Douglas and the illicit wealth, and where did it come from? We don't need to guess about his relationship with honesty, because an High Court judge famously branded him a stranger to the truth. Today, the reliable rumors are swirling across this land about the millions of dollars sitting in the private bank accounts of these very leaders of ours. And the public is asking the hard questions. Where did all this sudden wealth come from? How did public servants become multi-millionaires overnight? And while the National Bank pinches the poor, while the CBI funds dry up, and while local infrastructure crumbles, their personal estates are growing wealthier and wealthier. When we see the massive gap between the official government salaries and their skyrocketing wealth, and we match it against the constant stream of fabrications coming from their mouths, we have a right to ask the question. We have a duty to demand an independent audit. Can we dare say, just like my grandmother taught me, where you find the liar, you find the thief. And this rot didn't start yesterday, my Straight Talk family. The culture of the lie has been systemic. Look back to 2005. Look back at La Valley Greens. A former minister, Gada, signed a contract, I must remind you, for 20 million US dollars, over 55 million EC dollars for an 18-hole golf course at La Valley Greens. Today, there is no golf course. There is only a bush. And when asked, where the people's money gone, Gada, the answer he gave us was this.
Apparently, he wants me to explain to the nation why I, as a minister, signed an agreement. Well, it seems as though he wants me to explain why I signed. I'm told that he said he's not accusing anybody of bubble, but that he was just asking, where's the money? That's what I'm told, right? And I don't remember. But let me say what I have to say. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
That's Gada. Gerald Anthony Dwyer Stefan, my Straight Talk family. And we have provided the evidence before. We can provide it one more time, my Straight Talk family. And we ought to provide it, lest you may believe there's the truth to it, my Straight Talk family. Gotta sign the contract. Gotta sign the contract for $25 or $20 million. Get it right, my Straight Talk family. $20 million for that golf course at La Valley Greens. Where is the golf course, we asked him? Or where's the money gone? The answer was, I don't remember. So 20 million US dollars vanished. And he offered us nothing but amnesia. What would my grandmother say to that? What do you believe my grandmother would say? I believe my grandmother would have said, where you find a liar, you find a thief. But cross the narrows to Nevis. And we must never forget to keep looking at the Destiny Project. We must never forget the Premier's wife sits as the sole realtor, rubbing shoulders with state-aligned development. And when challenged on the glaring conflict of interest, the Premier boldly claims he doesn't know about his wife's business. Do you believe that, my Straight Talk family?
But I have continued to say, my wife has been a licensed tax-paying real estate business for 20 years. I have a wife who has a master's degree. I am not really even focused on this talk about my wife. My wife is working as she's entitled to do. She's a professional and she's giving a service. And certainly if you have property to sell, I suggest you call her. She's very good at what she does.
Recommend his wife to sell your property. Imagine that. Sharon Mama Brantley is so good, according to Mark Anthony Graham Brantley, that she is the go-between. The go-between my Straight Talk family.
Developer is a company, as I believe it's called South Nevis Limited, and that company is working with my wife. So she's acting as a go-between between her client, who's the developer, and landowners, and asking if they're minded to sell their land.
Yes, the go-between. But when you reflect, my Straight Talk family, ask yourself, don't you think that they believe we are fools? They treat the treasury like a family inheritance and expect us to accept their convenient ignorance. To the Premier Mark Anthony Graham Brantley, pretending to look the other way while his household profits from a position of public power is sneaky, dishonest, and a total breach of the Bradshaw standard of discipline. Remember, when Bradshaw's friend, we are told, Sam Daniel, got into trouble and went to Bradshaw to rescue him, Bradshaw, I'm told, suggested to Sam to find himself a lawyer. But today, the political reality is what we have is a lie of willful blindness. By claiming ignorance, a politician attempts to enjoy the financial and political fruits of a conflict of interest while technically avoiding legal blame. It is a lie told out of the corner of the mouth to protect familial enrichment at the expense of political integrity. But our grandparents taught us better. Whether you hide behind a bad memory or a convenient blind spot, a lie is still a lie. And the objective remains the same: to interfere with the belongings of the public. And the deception doesn't stop at the steps of Parliament. It has crawled right into the vaults of the St. Kitts, Nevis and Gwilla National Bank. Look at the scandal that just unfolded before our very eyes, and perhaps is still unfolding, where a managing director is being terminated for apparent double dipping, feeding his own pockets from two different troughs, while you struggle to pay your monthly bills and your mortgage at the same bank. But it gets worse. A loan was signed for $16 million. $16 million US dollars, my Straight Talk family, to purchase the marina at Christopher Harbour, Buddy Darby. And the borough defaulted. And the bank took its case to the court, my Straight Talk family. Straight to the court. And what did the bank tell the court? The case the bank advanced was very clear. The bank submitted that its application has as its objective to force a sale of the subject property. It contended that it is the last resort for the bank to collect on the money it is owed by Christopher Harbour. The bank presented 4 witnesses who were cross-examined. Ms. Caroline Adams, the bank's senior manager of corporate lending, Mr. Donald Thompson, Chief Executive Officer of the bank, Mr. Calvin Esdale, Commissioned Land Surveyor, Land Development Consultant, Property Evaluator, and Mr. Brian Kassab, Realtor. The evidence established, that Christopher Harbour defaulted on his obligations to repay the money owed to the bank, and KHT pledged the subject property to secure the payment of Christopher Harbour's debt. After more than 6 years, the debt stands at almost as much as the amount lent. And that's the case presented to the court. The bank did the right thing. It went to court and got an order to execute a lien on 400 acres of land held as collateral. And we have the court order, my Straight Talk family. Yes, Straight Talk always bring you the facts. And look at the court order there on your screens, my Straight Talk family. Look at the court order. In the matter of Section 75 of the Title by Registration Act, between St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank and KHT Holdings Limited. Look to your right, my Straight Talk family. Let's go to the order. And that's the important section we ought to look at. Read for yourselves. Or let's read this together. The order. Based on the foregoing, I make the following orders. The updated price for the subject property is fixed at US $26 million. The real estate firm of B. Kassab and Associates is hereby appointed to conduct the sale. The market plan for which is to be filed on or before the 14th of May 2021. B. Kassab and Associates shall be reimbursed from the proceeds of sale of the subject property. The matter, is to be listed for hearing on the 2nd of June 2021 for further determination in relation to the other requirements under Section 75 of the Title by Registration Act. And this was signed by the court, Master Tamara Gill, and signed by the registrar of the court, and the order handed down by Justice Tamara Gill, my Straight Talk family. But hear this. Hear this, my Straight Talk family. The bank was going to get its money or its land back. But, my Straight Talk family, if you look at Section 3 of the loan that was secured, and my Straight Talk family, look for yourselves. Look for yourselves, my Straight Talk family. I trust I have the right one posted. But the registered proprietor of 433 acres of land situated at Turtle Beach, my Straight Talk family, Saltpond Estate in the parish of St. George, Southeast Peninsula, on the island of St. Kitts, the subject primary. The subject property secured a loan offered to Christopher Harbour Development Limited, hereinafter called Christopher Harbour, by the bank on 2014, my Straight Talk family. And they didn't pay 1 cent back. Not a cent back. But while the Christopher Harbour argued on technicalities, time went. And what happened? The government changed in August 22. That's how long this case took to be finalized. And what happened? In came a new board of the St. Kitts, Nevis and Gwilla National Bank, and a new managing director. His name, Terence Crosman. And Crosman and the board and the bank made the court case magically disappear. Yes, magically disappear. So too the SIDF loan signed by Crosman while he was CEO, that disappeared as well, my Straight Talk family. And what does the new government tell us? They look us dead in the eye and lie out the side of their mouths, claiming it wasn't a bad loan at all. They call it an investment. Since when does a bank drop a court order for 400 acres of land and call it an investment? Since when we do write off $16 million of the people's money and pretend it's a success? They are changing the language to hide the loss. They are lying to protect the powerful while the bank's assets are compromised. What would my grandmother say when they call a default an investment? She would shout it from the rooftops. Where you find the liar, you find the thief. They are stealing the financial stability of our national institutions and covering it up with economic fairy tales. But my Straight Talk family, there must be a call for action. There must be demand for truth. A government that lies to you about houses is stealing your future. A government that lies to you about water is stealing your health. A government that hides its assets is stealing your patrimony. We cannot build a sustainable island state on a foundation of falsehoods. We cannot honor the legacy of Bradshaw by tolerating leaders who treat the truth as an enemy. It is time to return to the discipline of our grandparents. It is time to demand absolute transparency, independent audits of public funds, and leaders who mean what they say. Let us shake off the deception. Let us stand up for honest governance, because just as my grandmother knew, and just as history proves, only the naked truth will ever set St. Kitts and Nevis free. So in conclusion, my Straight Talk family, we have arrived at a defining moment in the history of our federation. We can no longer afford to sit in silence while our country is traded away in a back room or in backroom deals, wrapped in convenient amnesia and covered up with financial fairy tales. When a former minister tells you he cannot remember where the $20 million went at La Valley, he's taking us for fools. When a premier tells us he has no idea how his own household profits as a sole realtor for a major development on Nevis, he is treating us like children. And when this Terence Michael Drew administration uses the St. Kitts, Nevis and Gwilla National Bank to make a $16 million court case disappear, rebranding a massive default as a strategic investment, while throwing away 400 acres of our precious land, they are insulting our intelligence. They have traded the discipline of Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw for the politics of grease and shadows. They wear the red shirts, they wave the palm branches, but they have completely abandoned the soul of the labor movement. They preach progress out of one corner of their mouth, while they empty the cookie jar out of the other. I refuse to sit down and let them rewrite the fabric of St. Kitts and Nevis. I choose to stand on the foundation of the woman who raised me, my grandmother Eunice Taylor Proctor Liebert. I chose the unshakable faith of a grandmother who woke up before dawn, who baked her own bread, who worked honestly for every single cent, and who taught me that dignity cannot be bought, sold, or compromised. She was right back then, and she's right today. Only the truth can set St. Kitts and Nevis free. It is time for us to take back our country. It is time to demand a forensic audit of our public funds, absolute transparency in our institutions, and leadership that respects the law, the rule of law. Let us send a clear, deafening message from the steps of the Treasury to the halls of the Parliament. No more lies about our houses. No more lies about our water. No more lies about our bank. As we move forward to reclaim our inheritance, let us carry the warning of our ancestors in our hearts and on our lips. Let us ring out through every village from Basseterre to Charlestown, because history proves it, our current reality confirms it, and my grandmother always knew it. Where you find a liar, you find a thief. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. But I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. But I want to implore you, before I do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. And let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of doing and saying those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. It's 9:06, my Straight Talk family, and I go straight to the lines and say good night to my first caller. Caller, you're live. Hello,
good night, Mr. Live.
Good night, my dear. How about thou?
I am great. What about you?
Oh, I am peaceful. And
That's nice.
And things went well on Friday.
Yes, but up to now I haven't seen the match.
I haven't seen it. Oh,
No, I don't know what's the problem, but everything went well.
Okay, I hope that I'm sure they're hearing you, so they'll post it. I haven't heard it. I haven't seen it either. That's why I asked you.
Everybody asking me said they don't see it, but I don't know what's the problem because I know they had a lady was there taping.
Okay.
So I don't know. We just have to wait and see.
Let's wait and see. This quotationist.
We hang the petty thief.
Hang the petty thief. Mm-hmm.
And appoint the great ones to public office.
The great ones. Ones to public office, yes.
I repeat, we hang the petty thieves and appoint the great ones to public office. Have a great evening.
Okay, thank you very much. So, short and to the point, and so appropriate for tonight. We hang the petty thief and appoint the great ones to public office. Always very interesting quotations from across the Narrows, and tonight no difference. We hang the petty thief and appoint the great ones to public office. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Brother Patches.
Yeah, good night, sir.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Mr. Patches, this is not a paid campaign assignment.
So don't go there
This
then.
is the truth.
Uh-huh.
This is Patches Mini 2. As I will proceed, this is who I am, and this is what I say. The whole world knows that I bid for constituency 8, but I am subject to change at any time as I wish. But number 8 is steady for me.
Come ask you something.
It doesn't matter.
Come ask you something.
Yes.
Yeah, you try to circumvent the policy all the time. I tolerate it, but on a serious note, do you believe that politics and campaigning is about coming to straight talk and say you are going to run in number 8 and automatically become prime minister? You seriously believe that?
Well, it doesn't matter if I don't become prime minister, but
Or
I am all about
or even elected just by coming on straight talk and you'll get elected like that. Do you seriously believe that?
I am serious as a judge.
Uh-huh. Wow. You have changed
I
politics
am
then.
serious as a judge. You know why? And I don't consider this politics, I am restoring the dignity of my people.
From a distance.
We are being taken for fools. And I am willing to diminish, eliminate all who has hurt the country and think life will go on like that. It's not okay for me. And I'm pretty sure those who condone those behavior deep down in their heart, they don't like it. But they are going with the flow until changes be made. Whatever is the quid pro quo, I know that's what they are abiding by. But let me say this. There are names you called tonight and before. And should there be any challenge to you that you are lying, which would make you a thief, I will quote, you are not a liar in my vein. You are a truth finder and a truth teller. And I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart with no water in my mouth. You have the facts. You have revealed the facts. And until now, you have not been challenged. So, all those who have done us harm, should the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis give me that chance, I'm going after all of these people in all shape or form. I have the way to do it. This is no joke and this is not talk. This is seriousness. Okay? I'm not playing with the people. I'm not making promises and then back out. I am not backing out. Only the act of God. Then thy will be done. But just take me serious, because everyone start from somewhere. And they were shouted down. There were stumbling blocks. But not a family is in my decision, not a friend. It is Winston welcome and Winston welcome and God. So no one can change my mind. I don't care what anyone say. I don't want to take up too much time in round 1, but I'm telling you, all these monies that our leaders have out there, we shall find it. Not we will. We shall find it and we will bring it home. And we're going to share it to the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis equally. It belongs to us. Even those who are abroad, the amount of monies from our patrimony, every born citizen of the Federation of St. Kitts can have their share. Okay? I don't have to have any because I don't live for money. I live for God. As long as I can have one meal, that is good enough for me.
Okay, got you loud and clear, my brother.
Money is the root of evil.
Okay, thank you
The
very much.
love of money is the root of evil.
Thank
Yes,
you.
2.0 up next. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you very much, my brother. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, sir. Yes, sounds like the Bible man. Good night, sir. Good night. Good night, Mr. Bible man. Good night.
I want everybody hear me. I am coming hard. Here I say, and I want about chapter 22, and I am going Psalm 41, but I am reading about chapter 22. Hear the word of God said, rob not the poor, because he is poor. I want somebody to read it. Not oppress the son of in the gate. Here it on the God. Here it says, the Lord will plead their cause. You hear the passage? The Lord will plead the cause and spare the soul of those that spoil them. That is, this is the word of the Lord. Let me say so. Psalm 41. Blessed is the man that considereth the poor in the time of trouble. The Lord shall deliver. That is, this is what I am reading this tonight. Today when I was reading it, the thoughts come to me. If we look at the poor people, give them back. Because God is watching you. Nothing says so. I read it in the Bible. Because God is pleading for their cause. And I am saying it tonight. Read it and serve. Not the Bible man says so. It is God says so. That is, have a pleasant night. And here I am going to tap it all off. Psalm 107, last passage of scripture. You may say, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good.
His mercy endureth
For his mercy endureth forever. He said, let the redeemer of the Lord say so, who you have redeemed from the hands of the enemy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a pleasant night, Papa.
Have a pleasant night as well, Mr. Bibleman. We are always grateful for your spiritual interventions, I call them. And we go straight back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Street Talk.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. How are you, my wonderful brother?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
What can I say, man? So far, so good. All is well. You just got to do what you got to do. It's getting there. You know, You are doing a wonderful job, as everybody says, but you just continue to do what you got to do. I just want to let you know I will be seeing you soon and very soon. I opened the mail today and I couldn't believe what I'm seeing, so it's getting there. Understand? I just got to put myself together and let you know by next week. Mr. Street, this is this and this is that. So everything otherwise.
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Well, we're going to do what we got to do now. I can't wait for me and you to get across that water and sit down and enjoy ourselves again. And with God, He's going to make it possible for us to do what we have to do. So let me just say good night to my friends. Good night to my brother Alvin and his son George and my lovely niece in St. Louis. Texas Queen, how are you? And my brother Ellis from another mother and my brother Adam. Good night to all of you. Mr. Strater, did you says that some things coming for the Barbados school. So you went and see them, or somebody tell you that some they're there?
I have confirmed that they're there. I have confirmed.
Okay, good. You know, all the people who are gonna run against the Black Wolf of Yellowstone Park is to play that tape now where he says that a government guarantee smart houses, and that's all they have to do. Whoever is running in that constituency, see, that's all they have to do with the Yellowstone Black Wolf. Just paint it black, because he got everywhere in St. Kitts and smart house. At the very end of the smart house coming, the government, there goes he called the company and say, well, the government didn't lose the money. Mr. Strater, you got to play back that tape about him saying that the government didn't lose the money. All that lady or whoever gonna run in that constituency, that's all they have to do. Preach to the people what Mr. they did.
Okay.
Because Mr. He was such guarantee that he's gonna have these houses, and I keep saying to you, Mr. Strater, but if they're gonna do this in 4 years' time, but look what we are. Look where we are at the moment, and he's going to do this in 4 years' time, and he's going to build 600 houses. And you keep saying, well, you know, he said it. Said what? Mr. Strater, I think I said enough for tonight. Just do what you have to do until I see you. When I see you, take care of yourself, my brother. All is well. God is making a way for me and you to sit down again one more time soon and very soon. Mr. Strater, see you when I see you. Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. Let's go back to the lines, and in the event you've just joined us, we're discussing our thesis for tonight. Where you find a thief, you find a liar. Caller, thank you for holding. You're alive.
Good night. How are you, my husband? Good night, Caliquan aunt. How are you?
I am peaceful, Caliquan's aunt. What about yourself?
I'm here giving God thanks now to my family. PLP Massive! Why are you there? You come out. We ready, Mr. Lloyd. We are ready. We are set. We are so ready and set tonight, Mr. Lloyd. My representative is Lady Miss Caesar from Sandy Point. That is my representative. And I'm ready. I'm ready tonight, Mr. Lloyd. We are so ready because I don't see what this government doing. What you want to come tell me? The Prime Minister ain't here, the cry of everybody in this country. Look at cost of living. I look at the screen here when you were showing about the mackerel. Look how cost of living going up high and high. What you want to come tell me? You the finance. And what you want to come tell me? Nothing at all he can do with this price control in this country? Not because they got the war or whatever they got up there. Not because they have the war. What has he doing? What has he done for the country? He and he cabal them. All what they do, they're reaping the fruit of labor.
You know, something about Caliquan's aunt. Your phone just keep dropping out. I don't know why. And for the record, We do nothing here on the board, but you just keep dropping out. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Lloyd. I know. Every minute you drop it, I don't know why. What I saying tonight, this Labour government do not care nothing about poor people. They're for themselves and the family. The cry of people is out there. He not hearing the cry of people. He ain't hearing the cry of the poor man and the poor woman who have maybe 4, 5, 6 children going back to school. What is 250? 250 ain't the money to buy the school goods for the children them. Huh? And they're reaping the fruits of labor. They're pulling up the tail part with people tax money. Mr. Leibert, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But this government here, we cannot go no further with them. Otherwise, we'll be able to cook. And think it is down. Think it is going right. You hear my name? It's going on more and more underneath this government here. The economy is getting worse. The young man, them look at the young man, them out there. No work there for that to do. What you think they're doing? Smoking up along the place, end up in the prison, end up in gang, and all them go here watching that, here looking at that. Mothers out there and have nothing to give the children them. So the young man them going in gang, smoking and ending up in the prison. Look at the post office roof in Sandy Point. He well one thing. Here right now, I walked into them and said, well. This government ain't bringing nothing to the country. They ain't doing nothing. Nothing at all they're bringing in this country here for people to see. First time in office, and they got thinking out of order in a mess, in a state. What going to become of us if the people who think it and Nevis, the people that think it and Nevis better wake up, you know? They better wake up and don't put back in these people inside there, you know? These Babylonians, they want to think it, you know? We cannot put them back in there. Not we. The people that we cannot put them back in there. We cannot, Mr. Lloyd, but otherwise, that get with us.
Yes, I got you. Loud.
Living getting higher and higher.
Yes, my dear. Okay. Got you loud and clear, Kalaikwan's aunt, and thank you, as usual, for your contributions. And I omitted very early to acknowledge the passing of Edmund Morton, Centurion Edmund Morton, the father of Michael and Charles Novelet. I forgot all the other names, but we want to extend to the Morton family, Edmund Morton of Greenlands. I want to extend to the entire family our sincere condolences on the passing of Mr. Morton. The funeral service of Sylvine was well attended by the leadership, executive members and supporters of the PLP. The PLP reads this email. A couple supporters of PAM were present, including former leader Mrs. Natasha Gray Brooks, and 1 or 2 Labour supporters, with the exception of the Prime Minister Dr. Jew, who were obviously, conspicuously and noticeably absent. Her Excellency Dame Marcella was present as well. Sam Connor came maybe just to sign the condolence book and instantly departed to join his Friday afternoon groundless issues program. Many people were saying that as a mark of respect and contingent on the numerous remarkable educational and varied disciplines, Sylvine's contribution was par excellence, especially on issues and the groundless program. Many opined that Freedom Radio at least could have carried the funeral service live, as they have done for others in the past, or cancel the groundless program on that Friday of the funeral service. I don't know if it's because when Sam Dwyer and Dr. Martin articulate and propagandize the Labour Party lies on radio, Sylvine was one who courageously countered them and exposed the hypocrisy, deceit, and propaganda. Undoubtedly, they are all hurt, bitter, and embarrassed. And so they made her an everlasting enemy, but she never cared two hoots. Even the Prime Minister's chief advisor, Edinburgh, showed up to pay his respect to a woman of great character. Shame on you, groundless, good for nothings. Read this email. This other email reads, Dear Patches, please check out what is happening in Jamaica and by clicking the link above. Same problem with land acquisition. They take a mile when given an inch. Keep up the fight and continue to speak for all of us. Foreigners will own most of our prime lands and beaches if we don't pay attention and stop burying our noses in the sand. Reggae Beach has been demolished. Access will be limited there too. Look at what's happening to Reggae's place there at Brimstone, Reggie's place there below Brimstone Hill. These descendants of former colonizers are being emboldened by corrupt gatekeepers. Keep your feet on the necks of these traitors. We need more like you to stand up for the powerless. I hope our people wake up soon and consider the future of their descendants. When you don't know that you don't know what you should know, you will continue to be duped by unscrupulous political representatives and their henchmen. Stay safe and God be with you. Read this email. I'll perhaps get to that website if I can before the program ends. And this other email reads, my Straight Dog family, Good evening, Mr. Liebert. I've come to the inevitable conclusion that the oracle of truth in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Therefore, can you take a moment tonight to address two persistent rumors that are on the lips of our people here and in the diaspora, namely, one, Dr. Timothy Harris and Dr. Sean Richards have or are in the process of coming to an agreement where each of their parties will run in only 4 constituencies and thereby not compete with each other in the next election. Dr. Terence Drew and Dr. Denzel Douglas are locked in a bitter fight over the future of constituency number 6, with Dr. Douglas daily taken to social media to openly warn Dr. Drew about trying to oust him as SKNLP's candidate in the next election. Thanks. If you could address these issues for our people, I think I'll have to perhaps address that on another program on my Straight Talk family. This email reads, Divisions, please be careful with Mark Brantley. Do not believe and trust anything he tells you for this upcoming elections. I asked him if the citizens of Destiny would be able to vote in our elections. Everyone heard him say they are citizens and yes, eligible to vote. Now at his press conference, he has changed his mouth and said no, they will not be permitted to vote. Do not trust this premier. And furthermore, he's not responsible for elections. The Prime Minister is the one who should set the record straight because it is part of his portfolio. And if they refuse to vote, then challenge their refusal in court. What would the court say? Divisions do not wait for that to happen. The best option is to get rid of Brantley in the next election. The man is just a liar. And yes, we all are aware that where you find the liar, you find a thief. Reads this email. Mr. Welcome, I respect your ambitiousness to become a member of parliament in the Federation. However, I must tell you that you are turning off a lot of registered voters with your incessant attack on Timothy Harris. It does not make sense. If you are seriously thinking about running, attacking other opposition members is a senseless strategy. All opposition must be focused on the incumbent government to get rid of them. Don't you have a campaign manager to advise you? Harris is out of office, and with all the bad things you are saying about him, he hasn't lowered himself to answer you because he knows better. By you calling in on all the talk shows, seemingly to replace Harris as the representative for Constituency 7, it sounds like a joke. Say what you want, Mr. Welcome. Harris is the ultimate and most suitable one to provide sound leadership for the Federation. He has done it before and will do it again. It is for us again. Leave the man alone, Welcome. This is not the time for you to be playing political puppet show. these are serious times, reads this email. Good night, Mr. Patches, the Registrar of Land for St. Kitts and Nevis, Miss Isles. Someone need to tell her both St. Kitts and Nevis there are many titles to be signed. Frustrated landowners can't take it anymore. If she can't get to do the job, give it up. Reads this email. I wasn't aware that Shelley Isles is a registrar. Dear Patches, shameful and painful. Good night. I am concerned about Dwyer and all the lies he tells on the radio and appearing on talk shows. Do not worry with Dwyer, because he has a lot on his shoulder. I hope he remembers when he wanted to do a dirty order on Frigate Bay Development staff, and he wanted to get a staff member involved in the dirty deal, and he said he could not do it. He found it convenient to dismiss the staff member for standing up for his rights and for his dignity. It is so shameful that Dwyer thinks he is so clean, but I would like the whole incident to be brought before the public. But speaking with the affected staff, he said he would rather not comment right now. He is waiting for the appropriate time to do so. When this happens, everyone would want to listen, reads this email. Patches, every time I listen to the financial secretary, I realize that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or he's just saying things that July wants to hear. When I hear him speak, I often wonder which country is he talking about. Certainly not this country. The financial secretary needs to stop being a liar to please July. He needs to report honestly to the country, or resign immediately, reads this other email. I love the quote for tonight's program. Really to the point, reads this other email. Good evening, Patches. Some of the foot soldiers from in the constituency number 2 said she put it all of her friends on the UDC board, such as the Pace of Tourism and the CEO of Casper. Hi, good night, Patches. Children say that it as a big Labour supporter spending of US UDC credit card on a spending spree, and they say that he is, if I understand this message, Patches, a lot of persons who are overseas and like to call in on talk shows and write stuff on social media should come home and join the fight to restore our country. Those who are out there just talking, come home and show your patriotism and prove that you love this country. Otherwise, just shut up. Talk is cheap, but whiskey costs money. And that me say, reads this other email. And yes, this is an advertisement. And yes, I think I have dispensed of most of the emails. Yes, my lines are open, my Straight Dog family. I know that many of you are trying to get in. I didn't ignore you, but I wanted to share the content of the emails as well. And for those of you who may have joined me in a tardy way, my thesis title for tonight is Where You Find a Liar, You Find a Thief. Caller, you're live. Do you believe that?
A pleasant good evening to you.
Good evening. Sound like the dimple lady. You got in eventually, okay?
Yeah, and how are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm giving God thanks for another day and another next night to come.
We all do.
Yeah. But let me tell you something, you hear me? It's long time I've been saying that law is going to destroy St. Kitts and Nevis because they produce a lot of liars. And let me tell you something. We have I don't know if they mix with them or what old people say when you mix with dog, you get by the fleas. But a lot of them in this country here are lawyers too. And when they don't tell the lawyers them what's not, they must say they got dementia. I don't think so. They know what they must say. But they tell so many lawyers that they want people to forgive them. They got dementia. They're not going to dementia. They know what they must say. And to that same one day on Gaza, he need to come out and say what he do with the proposal for the golf course. Because he can recall that. But all the way down in people who born in 2030 and all them, he could remember them. But he can't remember this. And a lot of people in this country here, they look out, they don't know what law is and what truth is. Because lawyers, they might get paid now to go tell lawyers. You got people that get paid to tell lawyers. So just to show you how bad we are in this country, we're telling lies. Lies destroy a country. And it look like they made in this country look like they're serious with these lies. This lie destroy a country. And there is where we're going. Too much lie. And before people try to be aware of the lawyer lies, they're going to get paid to tell lies too. So where are we going? Huh? Where are we going? Where are we going? But anyhow, God in the bit, he rest, we smile at this time for us. He ain't going to give us more than what we can bear. Yes. But you have a good night. You hear me?
Have a good night as well, my dear. Thanks for your contribution as usual. And our quotation for tonight, straightforward, right to the point. We hang the petty thief and appoint the great ones to public office. And in keeping with our theme for tonight, where you find a thief, you find a liar. And every single one of us, I mentioned earlier, is shaped by the foundation upon which we were raised. For me, that foundation was my grandmother. Eunice Taylor Liebert. Eunice Taylor Proctor Liebert, to be exact. Was a woman of unshakable faith. A woman whose life was anchored in a simple, eternal scripture. Only the truth can set you free. My grandmother knew what it meant to struggle. And she knew what it meant to work and work hard. She never waited for handouts. To make ends meet, she woke up before the sun. She made and she sold black pudding. She made and rolled her own chocolate. And she sold that as well. And my Straight Talk family, she baked her own homemade bread. She poured her sweat into the soil of this country to build a life of honest, dignified labor. And like so many of her generation, my grandmother was a fierce, unapologetic supporter of the labor movement. To her, Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw was not just a politician. Bradshaw was a king. I remember her looking at me when I was young, her eyes filled with pride, declaring with absolute certainty that Bradshaw give me shoes. I was a young, assertive youth. I challenged her because I took her literally. I asked her, Mama, how could Bradshaw give you shoes? You bought those shoes with your own money. But as I grew older, my eyes opened. I grew to understand exactly what she meant. Papa Bradshaw didn't hand her a physical pair of shoes. What he gave her and what he gave an entire generation of Kittitians and divisions was dignity. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding caller alive. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night, Ian Patrick Labour. Good night.
Mr. Politics, good night, little Lord. How about thou?
Yeah, first I always want to give God thanks for life. You got and a straight talk and inspire the nation of what's going on in the Federation of Think It and Nevis and those in the diaspora. You're doing well. Patches. Anyway, let me think. Let me say a little tune. Money could buy a lot of things. I know it's true, but you should never buy my rights in my country. I will rather live with my family in poverty and to go back to the days of slavery. I want this government to understand that we are citizens of this land and this load of life we're getting every day. Bringing all them foreign investors to take over our land. I say we must stamp it out before it gets any worse. Our children's future depends on us. Think it is for all the Kittitian and the Division to share. We have the right to get as long as we born here. I said these wicked politicians we vote for in the election. We should stamp them out when the election comes. Because they're doing all kind of evil. They're selling out our country to a lot of Indians all over in Dubai. Yeah, Patches, man. Too much a lie, too much a lie. Too much a lie. Can't to me good friend just now there. Maisie, good night. Patches. Let me tell you something, right? I hope the people of this country listen to straight talk and we are going on. And listen to other talk shows, especially those guys in Nevis. And the NRP side. Because that is a fact. These guys are telling a lie. And it's time enough that we stand up in this country for these lying politicians. Let me tell you something, right? 2015, when Dr. Harris campaign said what he gonna do, what he gonna do when he get in. That is no government could go and accomplish everything in 5 years. You know that. And they can't fulfill a manifesto in 5 years. But these said they're going to do this, they're going to build a school, they're going to build this, they're going to do that. People will get in the $500, they take it back. Change up a lot of things, change up the peace program, all kind of elevate and all kind of things. And telling money with the lies. Every day there is coming on with news, every day there is the news, every day. There is a news saying all kind of thing, what they're going to do, because the election is coming on soon. 2015 and 2020, 2015 and 2020 election. Dr. Harris' campaign continues to what he's going to do for the people of this country. And he delivered to the people. He delivered, people were getting whatever. I hope the people in this country, people are stop, look and listen. Stop, look and listen. Because this government is taking us to nowhere. All we're getting is just lies. That is our wonderful night. May God bless you and keep you. And keep straight talk.
Thanks a lot, my brother. May God bless you and keep you as well. You go back to the lines. Thank this caller for holding caller your live. Hello, caller.
Patches, this is round 2 again. Patches, I am not attacking anyone. I only speak the truth. That is there. that is on the books. Everyone knows what the truth. I am not attacking Mr. Harris. I only speak the truth. And I am not coming with any mud. If I am speaking or attacking anyone, ban me from your show.
No, but I want you to take me serious, though, you know, right?
Yes, sir.
Unless I can say that you are making a paid political broadcast, I really can't tolerate your politicking, you know. I don't entertain it on this show here, right?
Well, I respect that.
Yeah,
I
please.
mean,
So
I don't
but
have
please
to be heard
understand
on
that. Yeah.
anyone's show.
Yeah, but
I don't
on
have to be
straight
heard
talk,
on
and straight
anyone's
talk
show.
is not. This is not for campaigning, right?
Well, Patches, I am only
and I mean
speaking
no
the truth.
disrespect to you, as it is not for campaigning. If
If I speak the truth about what has been
yeah,
said
but
out there,
you know what I mean by campaigning. So don't try to pretend. Okay?
all right.
Yeah.
All right. I will not
Please don't
do
campaign.
anything in the form of campaigning on
Please,
your
yeah,
show
please, yes.
or any show. I
But
will just
I
say
can't
my
talk for the other shows. I'm
perspective.
talking about straight talk. Okay?
Well,
Unless
I will say to the other shows but I already said what I had to say, and I am good from here moving forward.
Okay.
And since then, my presence will be on the platform soon,
Yes, I look forward
and I am serious about this. And if the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis can't accept truth, then they are in a very bad and sorry situation. They are bawling, they are crying, and like I said, everyone who are bidding for the seats of the constituencies, they're entitled to as long as they are qualified. And I am qualified. And those who believe that we are not there in the Federation, stay out. Well, my birth certificate says I was born in the Federation of St. Kitts, more specific, St. Kitts, in the village of Molyneux, by a man named George Manners and Pearline Welcome. And I'm not carrying a foreign passport. I am carrying a passport of the Federation of St. Kitts.
Yeah, but we
So
are
anyone have a problem with that?
going. We are going though. I mean, quite frankly, my thesis tonight is where you find a liar, you find a thief. You want to contribute to that?
Yes, sir.
Contribute to that for me.
I will change it.
Yeah, contribute to that.
Well, I know where there are liars, and I can say there are crooks and thieves and kleptocrats.
Okay.
Any one of them is the same thing. I will stay there. Thank you for allowing me. And I have a lot of muscles behind me in my quest. Thank you, Brother Patches. Love you. I love the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Love you more, my brother. Thanks for your understanding. We go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding caller your life. Hello,
Mr. Libert.
My dear.
I used to have an aunt. She was living at Old Road. And she used to tell us how Papa Bracha used to give her bed. Papa Bracha give her a bed. And we used to just laugh at her, you know. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening as well. Yes, my grandmother said Papa gave her shoes. And my grandmother, don't lose sight of this, had zero tolerance for deceit. She hated a liar with a passion. And she left me with a burning phrase that has remained stamped upon my soul until this very day. She used to say, where you find a thief, you find a liar. And I listened to former Prime Minister of Trinidad, Patrick Mallin, but he put it differently, as I said. He put it this way.
It raises a question, ladies and gentlemen. If they cannot speak the truth in small things, imagine what they will do in big things. My mother used to say, show me a liar and I'll show you a thief.
Yes, they cannot speak the truth in small things. Do you expect them to speak the truth in big things. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patrice is me. Patrice,
Yes, my
let me tell you something. My mother used to tell me too. She used to say that brother give her shoes to wear to keep sugar out of she foot.
Okay.
And I really look for the shoes and my brother give, and up to now me and see appear. Up to now. So that's what the older people used to say. Brother give them this and brother give them that. But me never see my mother shoes them up to now. Me I tell you. And to Mr. Welcome, he said he coming home to run for independent election. I will let you know which part Mr. Welcome is going to run. He said he's going to run in Kayan. But he ain't born in Kayan, he live in Molyneux. He got it in for Harris so much. Then he go over there, go run over there by Harris. But he come in at Kayan for. Kayan don't got a lot of soika party. So he gonna come in there, come make what? Another one?
Okay.
No, let he go Molyneux.
Okay.
Go run.
Okay.
Yes,
I've got you.
see you.
All right. Yeah. I've got you. Mr. Welcome, you're entitled to run anyway. Patches reads this email. Oh Lord, you know how I have said that I mute when Welcome comes on air. I muted him, but a friend called me and told me to unmute my television, and it seems as though he's making a mockery of elections. I heard and unmuted in time to hear you ask him a question. But who is this unknown man, and what is he really up to? I think, or should I say, we all think that he needs a reality check. Nobody will waste their vote. He wants to run in number 8, but he thinks he would move to number 7 or any way he thinks he's needed. Ask him if he has ever heard about Miss Saunders. She is in number 8 and she's very well received in number 8. I was given a serious thought, and I think he should use the Joker with a jester from the clown show as his symbol. Patches, I take this upcoming elections very serious. And for him to be making a mockery, it truly upsets me. Patches, you were given a good rating on radio today. It was said that you are a damn good minister and you should be remembered for the good work you did. Congrats. We need you back as an advisor. Reads this email. Mr. Poison, which hat are you wearing? You're a preacher in the Wesleyan Holiness Church. I want you to remember the scripture that all liars have their part in the lake of fire. Why are you allowing Douglas, your so-called God, and Dr. Drew to entice you with a big job and a fat salary to lie in the Federation about the status of the economy? Stop your lying as a pastor. Money have you leading to hell. And just remember that where you find a liar, you find a damn thief. Shame on you. Pugson reads this other email. And as we wind down tonight's programming, as it's 4 before the 10 o'clock hour, and we started reasonably early tonight, so no need to go on for much longer. But I made mention of my grandmother, and I could hear her voice echoing in my ear right now. And she said, where you find a liar, you find a thief. And my Straight Talk family, when I looked at what's happening in our country, I look at how they treated our heritage. I look at some who all of a sudden you ask where their wealth came from, How did some public servants become multimillionaires overnight? And while the national debt pinches the poor, while the CBI funds dry up, and while local infrastructure crumbles, their personal estates are growing. And my straight talk family, can we dare say, just like my grandmother taught me, where you find a liar, you find a thief. And this rot didn't start yesterday. The culture of the lie has been systemic. I made the point and look back at the 18-hole golf course at La Valley Greens, when the former Minister of Tourism, Gada, signed a contract for $20 million for an 18-hole golf course. Today, there's no golf course. There's only bush. And when I asked where the people's money went, the answer was, I don't remember. Across the Narrows, we spoke about Sharon Mama Brantley, who is a sole realtor and the go-between the owners or investors of the Destiny Project. And they think we are fools. They treat the treasury like a family inheritance and expect us to accept their convenient ignorance. But this is the lie of willful blindness. By claiming ignorance, the Premier attempts to enjoy the financial and political fruits of a conflict of interest while technically avoiding legal blame. But our grandparents taught us better. Whether you hide behind a bad memory or a convenient blind spot, a lie is still a lie. And the objective remains the same: to interfere with the belonging of the public. And the deception doesn't stop at the steps of Parliament. It has crawled right into the vaults of our National Bank. Look at the scandal that just unfolded before our very eyes. A managing director getting $90,000 per month and had a $2 million contract for 2 years. Terminated for apparently double dipping, feeding his own pockets from 2 different troughs. His own company in Florida called Genesis, and the bank, while people struggle to pay their bills. But it gets worse, because a loan was signed for $16 million, and the borrower defaulted. And this, the bank took to court, my straight talk family. The bank took that matter to court. Let me get the right exhibit up for you. Yes. And the case made for the bank, the applicant in this case, was straightforward, my straight talk family. A straightforward case made by the bank, the National, or the St. Kitts Nevis National Bank. And this is a case made, you can read for yourself. The bank submitted that its application has as its objective to force a sale of the subject property. It contended that it is a last resort for the bank to collect on the money it is owed by Christopher Harbour. The bank presented 4 witnesses who were cross-examined. Mrs. Caroline Adams, the bank's senior manager, corporate lending. Mr. Donald Thompson, chief executive officer of the bank. Mr. Calvin Esdale, commission land surveyor, land development consultant, property evaluator. And Mr. Brian Kassab, realtor. The evidence established that Christopher Harbour defaulted on its obligation to repay the money owed to the bank. KHT pledged the subject property to secure the payment of Christopher Harbour's debt. And after more than 6 years, the debt stands at almost as much as the amount lent. And the order. The order is public business, my Sri family. You can go to the court's website and find it. Look at the order. The bank went to court and got an order to repossess 400 acres of land, my Stray Dog family. And the order reads, based on the foregoing, I make the following orders. The upset price for the subject property is fixed at US $25 million. The real estate firm of B. Kasab and Associates is hereby appointed to conduct the sale. The market price, the market plan, beg your pardon, for which is to be fixed on or before the 14th of May 2021. Kasab and Associates shall be reimbursed from the proceeds of the sale of the subject property. The matter is to be listed for the hearing of the 2nd June 2021 for further determination in relation to the other requirements under Section 75 of the Title by Registration Act, signed by Justice Tamara Gill. And my Stray Dog family, delays after the delays. But the bank was going to get its money back. But what happened? It was delayed and 2022 came and the government changed. But what did this new managing director do? And the board of directors. The board of directors have to be culpable. Has to be culpable. They made the court case magically disappear. The country is owed an explanation. And what did the new government tell us? They look us dead in the eye and lie out the side of their mouths, claiming it wasn't a bad loan at all. They call it an investment. But since when does a bank drop a court order for over 400 acres of land and call it an investment? Since when we write off $16 million of the people's money and pretend it's a success? They are changing the language to hide the loss. They are lying to protect the powerful while the bank's assets are compromised. What would my grandmother say when they call a default an investment? She would shout it from the rooftops. Where you find a liar, you find a thief. They are stealing the financial stability of our national institution and covering it up with economic fairy tales. Fellow citizens, a government that lies to you about houses is stealing your future. A government that lies to you about water is stealing your health. And a government that hides its assets is stealing your patrimony. We cannot build a sustainable island state on a foundation of falsehoods. We cannot honor the legacy of Bradshaw by tolerating leaders who treat the truth as an enemy. It is time to return to the discipline of our grandparents. It is time to demand absolute transparency, independent audit of public funds, and leaders who mean what they say. Let us shake off the deception. Let us stand for honest governance, because just as my grandmother knew, and just as history proves, only the naked truth will set St. Kitts and Nevis free. In conclusion, my Stray Dog family, we have arrived at a defining moment in the history of our federation. We can no longer afford to sit in silence while our country is traded away in backroom deals, wrapped in convenient amnesia, and covered up with financial fairy tales. When a former minister tells you he cannot remember where $20 million has gone at La Valley, he's taking you for a fool. When the premier tells you he has no idea how his household profits as a sole realtor for the major development in Nevis called Destiny, he's treating you like a child. And when the administration uses a St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank to make a $16 million court case disappear, rebranding a massive default as strategic investment while throwing away 400 acres of our precious land, they are insulting our intelligence, my straight dog family. Yes, they are. They have traded the discipline of Robert Bradshaw for the politics of grease and shadows. They wear the red shirts, they wave the palm branches, but they have completely abandoned the soul of the movement. They preach progress out of one corner of their mouth while they empty the cookie jar out of the other. I refuse to sit down and let them rewrite the fabric of St. Kitts and Nevis. I choose to stand on the foundation of the woman who raised me. I choose the unshakable faith of a grandmother who woke up before dawn, who baked her own bread, who worked honestly for every cent, and who taught me that dignity cannot be sold, bought, or compromised. She was right back then, and my grandmother will be right today. Only the truth can set St. Kitts and Nevis free. It is time to take back our country. It is time to demand the forensic audit of our public funds, allow transparency in our institutions, and leadership that respects the law. Let us send a clear, deafening message from the steps of the Treasury to the halls of Parliament. No more lies about houses. No more lies about water. No more lies about the National Bank. And as we move forward, let us reclaim our inheritance. Let us carry the warning of our ancestors in our hearts. Let it ring through every village from Bastia to Charlestown, because history proves it. Our current reality confirms it, and my grandmother always knew it. She always knew, and I'll take this final email. Patches, it seems like the worthless, vagabond attitude of this government is trickling down on the people who are in charge of taking care of our senior citizens. The senior citizens are having a hard time getting help with their situation and problems. These uncaring persons at social services are telling the poor people and vulnerable citizens that if they want their place clean, they will have to hire a private cleaner. In the past, social services used to send workers to help the senior citizens and to help clean their homes. What the hell is going on? No, people stop caring. Yes, there used to be home care officers back then. Are you saying that they are no more? And perhaps this is why we say the financial secretary was really talking nonsense like this.
Well, I want to be real. Given the geopolitical situation, given what's being said about CBI across the entire region, as you would have heard most recently, the EU is saying to the governments of the Eastern Caribbean that by 2028 they should be out of the citizenship by investment program. Now, when I go back and I look at several of our budgets over the years, our budget was heavily anchored on CBI. Having taken office as FS, acting FS up to the last budget, and was the lead on preparing the 2026 budget. The previous year budget in particular, about 49% of the budget, the revenue side of the budget, was based on CBI. And I would have said to the Honorable Cabinet, look, we cannot be anchoring the budget on something we have no direct control over. And so for the 2026 budget, we move from 49% down to 28%. And so while we are behind in terms of CBI revenue performance to date, the economy continues to float and operate well, all because we have not anchored government ability to operate solely on CBI.
So he gave up the CBI for the IMF, and people are hurting. But my Straight Talk family, no wonder things are so hard. No wonder they have to lie. But where we find the liar, you know what my grandmother said. Ring it out through every village from Bassett to Charlestown, because history proves it. Our current reality confirms it. And my grandmother always do it. That where you find a liar, you find a thief. And just as my quotationist said, we have the petty thief, and the point, we hang the petty thief, beg your pardon, and appoint the great ones to public office. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many viewers, those who sent emails, and all those who called. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and all whom you meet. And remember, again, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. Bye-bye. Keep moving on.